What's up, guys? We're back with another beatbox reaction video, and today we have 4 more wildcards for the Grand Beatbox Battle 2023 World League. So we have 2 solo beatbox wildcards and 2 loop station wildcards, but one of them is not actually a wildcard. It's Rhythmind's video for the Grand Beatbox Battle 2023. I guess it's a little lead up to the event itself because he is judging this time. He's not competing, as he mentions in the description of that video. But yeah, excited to see his video nonetheless, because obviously he is a previous Grand Beatbox Battle champion in the loop station category in 2019. We all know what he's capable of, and he's honestly one of the best solo device users in the scene today. So on the other hand, we have Velkans, a friend of the channel, big fan of Velkans, obviously, residing from Brazil. Very underrated beatboxer. Not a lot of people know who this guy is, so hopefully he gets a little bit more recognition with this wildcard, and hopefully he gets into the Florida beatbox competition as well, because he had a very solid wildcard over there. So I'm excited to see what Velkans has for his wildcard here. We also have Oxygenic, who I haven't seen in a couple of years now. I think the last time I seen him was in 2021 at the online beatbox championships for the loop station category. Yeah, he had to do some mandatory military service because he is from South Korea. That's a mandatory thing for men and women, I think, of certain ages. Not really sure how it works, but anyway, he had to do some mandatory military service, and now he's back. Yeah, before he left, he was on an absolute tear. Like, he was one of the first guys I seen use all these multiple devices and the shortcut devices, like I think it's called like the MIDI pad or something. I can't really remember what that's called, but he was one of the first guys I saw use that. And the stuff like in the rounds that he's capable of producing with those devices, like, absolutely mind-blowing. So wondering if that time off hindered his ability at all. I'm not sure if he was able to bring all this stuff with him wherever he was. I'm not sure if he's kept up the practice, but super excited to see him after a couple year layoff for me personally. So, and also the last artist we're reacting to here in this video is going to be Villardo, his solo wildcard for this competition. I was first introduced to Villardo last year for his BBU wildcard, and he ended up replacing someone at the end. I think he replaced Tomas at the end there, so he actually ended up making it into the competition itself, and I thought he won that battle, honestly. I can't remember who he battled. I think it was Jordox, actually. Yeah, it was Jordox, because initially Jordox was supposed to face Tomazakre. So yeah, I thought he beat Jordox, but yeah, things turned out a little bit different there. But yeah, he's a very talented beatboxer, very underrated. I think he's also from Brazil, just like Velkans. And yeah, looking forward to all 4 of these wildcards. So this is a little bit of a longer introduction, but let's just get right into the videos.
What up, this is Velkans. I'm from Brazil, and this is my solo wildcard for the solo GBB Wildcard 2023. I hope you guys enjoy it.
I love that you kept that in.
So many people wanted to know. Not nobody know what to say. The techniques, complicated flows. Got a bad news. That's not one thing you wanted. Did you wanna play?
Oh.
Did you wanna play? Hold up the brake. want to break. Ain't nobody fucking teach you what I play.
Woo! Hell yeah, bro. God damn. Alright, man. Yeah, so that was Velkans. His wildcard for the GBB 2023. You know, it's so crazy, bro. Like, every time I hear Velkans, he gets better. Every single time. Like, I thought that his Florida beatbox wildcard was really good. Probably the best I've seen from him so far. But I think this wildcard even eclipses that wildcard. It's just something about this one. I think it's hard to pinpoint exactly why I like this one a little bit more. I think, like, looking back at it now, I think is just because I think your technicalities were a little bit more fleshed out in this one in particular. I think it was slowed down, like the tempo was slowed down just a slight little bit, so you kind of got to linger and live with the unique technicality that you have a little bit more so than the other ones, I think. And also, the video production was great. The sound quality was on point. Still wish that you had a professional microphone. I see that you're still using your phone, but not too big of a deal this time around. I think the audio quality was pretty much consistent throughout the entire video, so it wasn't too bad. Wasn't bad at all, actually, to be fair. So, very solid wildcard from Velkans. Huge fan of him. Very unique beatboxer in terms of technicality. You don't really see that kind of technicality from anyone in the scene. And very, very underrated beatboxer. Needs a lot more attention, I think. A lot better than people give him credit for, I think. Honestly. So, yeah, very solid wildcard from Velkans. Moving on to the next artist here.
This is Oxygenic from South Korea, and this is my wildcard for the GBB 2023 producer category. Here we go. What should I do? I don't wanna end, I want to do, but I have to lose to you. What should I do? What should I do? Can't resist all this feeling. Some things time start to feel what I ever want to say. Swore from the eldest food and taken from my brain.
Oh my god, that's so nasty.
System slow activated. You take control of your brain and your system. So stay tuned. Cause it is so critical.
Okay, that ended really abruptly.
Yo.
Okay, so that was Oxygenic's wildcard for the Grand Beat Box Battle 2023. I think this is the first producer wildcard I've seen so far for that competition, so makes absolute sense why he's in the producer. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to compete in the regular loop station just because of the multiple device rules, but I think you watch this wildcard and you have a very good idea as to why they need to be separated from each other, because they're completely different, the capabilities that you have with the multiple devices compared to the solo device is a little bit unfair. Not saying that you're guaranteed to win if you have multiple devices compared to one, but the distinction is so noticeable now that it kind of had to be done, I think, and it was very fair that they did go with that decision to kind of separate each other. But anyway, for the wildcard itself, after 2 years layoff, not sure if he was actually still looping or not during that time. Maybe it was a little bit less than 2 years, but for me, it's been 2 years since I last heard him. But yeah, it's pretty much like he picked up exactly where he left off to. His overall style, pretty much exactly the same. The kind of music that I remember him doing, pretty much identical in terms of the genre that is. Yeah, very solid wildcard from Oxygenic. So difficult to kind of pick apart things because I'm not very familiar with the loop station in general in terms of like those little details that goes into creating tracks. But when you add all these other devices on top of that, I'm not even going to try to analyze any of that. The music overall was just great, I think, for him. And yeah, very excited to see what he can do on the big stage if he makes it through. And I think that he probably will, but we haven't seen any of the wildcards yet for the producers other than him. So, yeah, very big fan of Oxygenic. Glad that he's back and looking forward to everything that I see from him in the future. So, moving on to the next wildcard.
It's Vilardo from Brazil, and this is my GBB 2023 solo wildcard. You wanna see a magic trick? You look at this scenario. Vídeo, gravando Tascam, let's go, luz bonita, é isso aí. Tonight, oh, we go for my way, and oh, I guess gonna shoot and for today. Take a hop, whoa, back at the back my way home. Pick a hop, whoa, pick a farm, and for today. Take a hop, whoa, take a hop. Back my way home. Pick a hop, whoa, pick a hop. My way, my way. Even if you shut it down. Tonight, whoa, we go for my way, my way.
Hell yeah. Okay, guys, so that was Vilardo's Wildcard for the Grand Beatbox Battle 2023. And yeah, what can I say? Pretty much exactly what I remember him being like in terms of his style overall, the kind of sounds that he uses. One takeaway I want to mention right off the bat is that compared to every single wildcard that we saw so far for this competition, I think that his audio was the most raw. It had the least amount of mastering or editing for the wildcard itself. It just sounded the most raw. I don't know if you guys kind of caught that, but for me it did personally. So yeah, I really like his style overall. I think it's very interesting. He's one of the few beatboxers that utilizes the tongue flute. Obviously, we've seen that from Ale or Ali. I think his name's Ali, pronounced Ali. And Dilo. They're like the only two other ones I know that kind of utilizes that sound regularly in their routines. But yeah, it's nice to hear that. Also, I really enjoy his kind of melodies that he incorporates within his routines as well. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Dudes, who's also from Brazil, so I'm not sure if they kind of beatbox together at all or influence each other in terms of the style. But yeah, very solid musical track from Villardo, I think. Very different, unique in his own right, and another one of those underrated beatboxers who also happens to be from Brazil, just like Velkans, who is also underrated, in my opinion. So yeah, give the Brazil scene a little bit more love. They have a lot of talented beatboxers out there that don't really get much attention and recognition from outside of their country. Just kind of odd, but it is what it is. Anyway, moving on to the last video here. It is not a wildcard. It is just a video from Rhythmind, kind of in the same light that we seen from Bizkit in my last video for the wildcards. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
No.
What? Nice, nice, nice. See you too, Japan. That's funny. Okay, so that was Rhythmind. Not a wildcard, obviously. Again, just a video that he had for, I guess, the lead up and build up to the GBB23. Wishing all the competitors good luck for their wildcards, and hopefully seeing them in Japan. So, yeah. Really solid track from Rhythmind. It's been a little bit since I heard something new from him. Maybe a little over a year and a half maybe at this point. So, yeah, very solid video from him. Obviously, the solo device Mark II. Yeah, he was... I think he was one of the few people who used that Mark II at the last event, and that caused a little bit of controversy, if you remember his battle against Brez. Yeah, but man, the capabilities of that device compared to the first one is pretty crazy. It's almost like you kind of know, for the most part, you kind of know who is using one and who is not, if you can't really tell by the device itself, if you can't really notice just by like the capabilities that you have pretty much when you use that device. But anyway, I love Rhythmind's style. That was a little bit more tame than the stuff that we heard when he uses rounds that he uses in battle. I still enjoyed it nonetheless. It'd be a nice chill kind of dance vibe, especially for a live setting. I think that would have been really nice as like a first round in a battle against someone there at the competition, I think. Yeah, very solid video from Rhythmind. Too bad he's not competing again. I think he'd be very entertaining to listen to for the especially now that the multiple devices are kind of separated from the solo device. It would have been nice to see him compete in a solo device only competition, but it is what it is. He's judging, so at least we have a very reliable judge on the table along with all the other ones. So anyway, that's it for today's video. It's for Wildcards. Looking forward to all the rest of the ones coming out. We're approaching the deadline very fast, so we're going to see a lot more people releasing theirs in the following week or so. So looking forward to all of those. Go support these guys. Link is in the description like always. Check out their video. Leave a like on their videos. Sub to their channels if you enjoy their content. If you want to support me, you can leave a like on my video. You can subscribe to my channel. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next beatbox reaction video.